Hey everybody, welcome to the Easy A Q&A for August 2020. I am joined by some lovely allies here, and we are going to get right into the questions. If you're interested and want to submit a question, it's a $20 and up tier on our Patreon, and you can find out more by going to patreon.com/easyallies. Our first question is, as always, he has to have like a years-long record at this point. Alexander Zirinov, who says, "Hello, allies. First of all, I'd like to thank Damiani for his brief sleepy time with Cloudstream. It was delightful.
Nice.
As for my question, this month I ask you to build a desire index, the ranking in which you desire video games, for the following 6 titles.
Ooh.
Bloodborne 3, Kingdom Hearts 4.2, Resident Evil 8 Remake, The Legend of Zelda: The Final Chapter,
What?
Bug Snacks Origins, Grand Theft Auto 6 Remastered."
Well, GTA 6 Remastered, we can just put that on top. Because it's a confusing list, we can just, I think, safely put that, at the top. For lore reasons, you don't want to rush ahead to Bloodborne 3. You want to get all the lore from Bloodborne 2, obviously, so.
Right.
And
I
who
think...
wants one last Zelda? I think that would be the bottom,
I'm
right?
missing one. Oh, Zelda, Final Chapter. That's what I'm missing.
But if it is the final chapter, I desire it the most.
Yeah, Zelda: The Final Chapter, I agree. I would have to know what that would be.
Yeah, that's really
some dark shit's going on in that.
Yeah, man.
highest
Yeah.
possible stakes.
Number one, that. Number 2, Bloodborne 3 for sure.
Bloodborne 3. Man.
Would that mean you play Bloodborne 3 before Bloodborne 2?
I think the way that I'm kind of interpreting this question, and maybe this is wrong, is that this is a future where we've already played Bloodborne 2.
Yeah.
So that's why we're desiring Bloodborne 3.
Yeah, that's why the remasters are lower to me, because I'm like, well, they're still remasters.
Yeah, I think the Resident Evil I agree. I think the remake and the remaster would maybe be lower just because they're not full-on sequels or prequels in the case of Bud Snacks Origins.
For Zelda: The Final Chapter, it's Nintendo's last game.
Oh shit!
Oh man, I want them to just take the Halo 3 tagline, finish the fight.
Yeah.
They're launching it with a new console, but it's the only game that will ever be on that console.
I'm definitely neutral on Kingdom Hearts. You guys can do whatever you want with that.
Oh, that's high for me.
Yeah.
But it's only for me.
4.2, baby. What a
I
great
don't
way to
think
name that.
Bug Snacks has survived the controversy of when they tried to actually put them into fast food chains.
That's true.
Yeah, Bugsnax is difficult because I'm looking forward to that game, and I think it's super cute, but I'm not attached to it the way that I am The Legend of Zelda: The Final Chapter.
Just don't put Bug Snacks ahead of GTA. That's all I ask. If Kingdom Hearts is ahead of GTA, it's fine. I'll take it. But...
Bug Snacks Origin is actually just a bag of
Snacks.
cricket lickets. It's not even a game.
So what are the? So we got Zelda top, Bug Snacks in the bottom. What are the other 3? GTA, Kingdom Hearts, and what?
Bloodborne 3.
Oh, Bloodborne. So Bloodborne's 2.
Yeah.
So do we? Who's fighting for the 3 spot? We got GTA and Kingdom Hearts.
I'm willing to.
I would probably put Kingdom Hearts there, but
I would probably put Kingdom
Yeah,
Hearts.
Jones Cyclops is in it, dude.
yeah,
Like,
Cyclops is in it. There we go. Now we got him on board.
yeah.
Only in 4.2. He wasn't in 4.
Yeah.
He wasn't in 4.
Right.
Hawkeye
They're
also
throwing him in.
shows up in 4.2.
Hey, all right.
Yeah.
Walt
Yeah,
Disney
Sora uses a
himself
bow.
is in the game.
Hey,
Oh yeah.
Walt
He's
Disney
the
is
final
Cyclops.
villain.
Yeah, just with a big eraser. He just goes around.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Zelda, Bloodborne, Kingdom Hearts. Do we do Grand Theft Auto 6 Remastered for Jones?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Resident Evil, and then Bugsnax?
Oh,
Yeah.
RE.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought there were only 5. That's right.
No, RE8 remake.
Yeah,
Right.
RE8 Remake.
What's there to?
But it's a text adventure now.
Yeah.
Nice.
D-make. That actually
Yeah.
would be really great.
That would be great. That was kind of like a
Evil
thing
teammate.
games were emphasizing for a while. They've kind of gotten away from. Like,
turn an RE game into King's Quest.
What was that Capcom game? Dark Void had that
Yeah.
demake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Someone shared recently a Resident Evil demake. It was like isometric in the hallway. It's cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
It's all like 8-bit, 16-bit.
Next question comes in from Ebo Show. Hey, allies, this could be the last Q&A where we don't know the price and release date for the next generation. Very true. Do you think we will? If so, how much and when will they release? Getting right to the heart of it.
The way that's worded is funny though. Like, will we know the price? Will we just have our credit card charged and not know what it's gonna cost?
I think we're learning them this in September. I think it's happening. If we don't learn it before September,
I think we'll learn it in September. Yeah, I agree.
yeah, I think they can't wait that much longer. I'm gonna go high then. I'll go high. I'll say both are gonna be $600.
I agree.
I think they'll stick to 5.
I'm gonna do 5 for both.
I'm going to do 5, but I don't think saying 6 is unreasonable.
No, it's not ludicrous or out of the question.
I think the digital PS4 will be 5, but the disc will be 6.
Huber, you said the
I'll go 5.
DualSense. You thought the DualSense would cost $100.
$100. I honestly be prepared. Be prepared. That DualSense controller, $100, 99 US dollars.
No,
Brace for impact.
I honestly, we
Brace.
talked about this already privately, Huber, but I honestly think the DualSense and the Joy-Cons, it's about equivalent in terms of the amount of technology that's inside of them. I think they'll be about the same price.
So
for
was that
Joy-Cons.
$80?
Yeah.
Look out.
Look out, dude.
I would be
Look
shocked if the
out.
DualSense was $100, but
Yeah, I don't think it'll go that high.
After taxes, it'll be close. Brace for impact.
Hubert, can you make a show called After Taxes? Just take that name and do whatever you want with it.
Nice.
All right, next question comes in from Brandon White. Hello, allies. Last month I asked you guys about the places you'd like to travel to. This month, a similar question, but in reverse. Are there any cities or places you regret visiting? Wasn't as great as expected or had a bad experience? As always, keep up the great work.
Regret visiting?
I have one that I feel guilty about, but it's also true. So I grew up in Iowa, right? And Nebraska is right above us. No offense to anybody that lives in Nebraska. No qualms with any of the people there or anything.
We've done meetups there, man.
Yeah. No qualms. No qualms. No qualms
Easy,
with
Ben.
Nebraska. But it's the most boring place I've ever been. Maybe it's improved. It's been a long time, but yeah. No qualms.
No quarrel.
No quarrel.
It's not like a place. This is honestly the only thing I can think of. But there was one time I got in the car to go to Disneyland and I wish I hadn't. I wish I hadn't even tried. But there was the first night they did their all-nighter where the Disneyland was going to be open up until sunrise. And I was on the South 5 freeway at the Disneyland exit for an hour and a half, stuck, just not moving. And it was the kind of thing where if you went along I was in the lane that was going to get off the freeway. If you got out of the lane and cut everybody off, then maybe you could get up there. But I don't like to do that. So I was just stuck. And we sat in there for an hour and a half and then did a U-turn and went to Denny's and went home and went to bed. It's just we physically can't even get into Anaheim right now. It's just not even happening. So I regret even trying. Aw.
No regrets. See the world.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to
Zero
think.
regrets.
Yeah, I generally really enjoy traveling. Even just having long drives where I can listen to music for 4 hours is pretty relaxing for me.
Yeah. Yeah, West Texas or Oklahoma have some of the rougher drives because of that. Because it's just West Texas is just a straight line, and so you just watch the rabbits run away from the car the whole time. But it might be very specific, but I should say never use the Paris airport as a connecting point. If you're going to Paris, fine. Don't try to transfer through Paris. That was a nightmare.
Can I just shout out the Honolulu airport? We connected there when we were going to New Zealand for our honeymoon. and it had to be the chillest airport I've ever been. Like, everybody was just vibing out and having a good time. And, like, that airport was a vacation in and of itself. Like, shout out Honolulu Airport. Good job.
That's the thing about a Hawaii vacation. It starts when you get off the plane.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
literally, once you hit atmosphere, you're like, oh, it just, yeah, definitely.
When I was a baby, my parents or my family always talks about this. There was this thing they call the trip to hell. And I was like, just a baby. So like I was there, but obviously I don't remember anything. But like they rented an RV and we're like doing the whole like through the states kind of thing. And just like flat tires, running out of gas, wrong turns, 100-degree heat,
Oh man.
sunburn, like just everything that went wrong could go wrong. So
I mean, you want to talk about road trip
It's
stories?
funny.
I've got a doozy where I'm trying to remember exactly where we went from. So I think we had. So this is when I was back on tour, and I was with groups that were doing promotions at concerts. And so, anyways, so the way they structured it was kind of weird because they had these basically they had call teams that went out for a couple of weeks at a time, got leads, then went back. And so we would basically swap teams every couple of weeks, but I would be the guy that was always on the road. And so we went from like somewhere, I want to say in like Tennessee or something, overnight, like 4 hours to like Virginia. It was like 9 a.m. or whatever. By the time we got there, I had gotten there, and this is like before email was even common. So like I had to connect to email through like a modem and crap. And then I hadn't even gone to bed yet, and they like call me up and like, hey, we've got like way too many leads. We need that team back in to make calls. We need you to swap teams. And like, you need me to come back to Dallas now? And I managed to talk them into like meeting me halfway in like Memphis or something. But, and then we like, yeah, basically had our van meet another van, and then we like just swap the people in the vans. But holy crap.
Wow.
Damn.
Bad trips. Our next question comes in from James Davey. Hey, allies, before I get to the question this month, a couple of shout-outs. Firstly, if you haven't played Hunt Down, get on it. Don was right on the money about it. If you want a fun cyberpunk retro shoot 'em up, this is unmissable. Secondly, if you haven't seen the 1973 British version of The Wicker Man, get on it. As for this month's question, what were some of the naughtiest things you did as children, whether in school, at home, or wherever you were when you committed these naughty acts?
There's one my mom keeps reminding me of with Milo just almost being able to walk. My parents had guests over that was some like investor friend of my dad. So this was like a very lucrative opportunity for him, a very rich couple. And they were older, I think in their 50s or 60s. And my mom set up the dinner table and everything was perfect. And then she's like in the kitchen working on something and she hears giggling and it's like, what? And she comes in and I'd taken baby powder and just everywhere. And she comes in like, oh, and I'm like, look, mommy, snow. And she was like, okay. And then she just grabbed like the regular dishes and just put them on like the table in the living room. And then they came in and they were like, hey, and she's like, I'm sorry, my son. And the mom, and the lady just cracked up. And she's like, this is the funniest damn thing I've ever seen. So it worked out for me at the end of the day. But I've heard that story like 8 times since Milo's been born. So
Sure. Yeah, like I similarly have a story like that I have no memory of, right? But it's just been told endlessly over the years. And whereas like I had woken my mom up and it was like, it's raining in the living room. And I had like flooded the sink in the bathroom upstairs and it had just been overflowing for an hour, who knows how long.
We used to steal TV
trays,
fast food trays.
Oh, right.
Steal those,
Yeah.
and we would go to abandoned parking lots and put them under our back tires And if you have an automatic car front wheel drive and you pull your e-brake, your car can just do like endless donuts. You do that all the time. It's sick.
Did you do tray surfing with those?
Do what?
Did you ever tray surf with those? So like you would
no.
hold onto the back of the
Just
car
with
with the
cars.
tray.
I can believe
okay,
I can
yeah.
believe you did that like last month if you told
Yeah.
me.
Does Forza Horizon have a fast food tray DLC pack I can get?
In high school, I don't remember what time it was. It was like midnight or something, but we snuck into a public pool and went swimming after it was closed.
Yeah.
That's pretty
I
fun.
snuck
Start
in
of a horror movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. I snuck in a couple skate parks,
nice.
and one of our friends broke his leg there.
Oh no!
Whoa,
It was
crap.
it was
Don't
it
do
was
that.
Voxelin, Huber.
dude! Holy crap,
What an idiot!
dude!
How did he break
an
his
idiot.
leg?
Just doing
Doing a
something
trick.
he shouldn't have been doing, dude.
That could be
God.
anything, man.
A skate park? Yeah.
Yeah.
Went past his limit, dude.
Dude.
Test your limits.
Easy.
I like that.
Damiani
Limit
was a saint. He's
break.
got nothing. Nothing. The perfect child.
Nope. I just don't. I don't know if any of them are like terribly interesting. I think, and not all of them were perpetrated just by like me. I guess the dumbest one I can remember was in high school. There was a McDonald's that everyone went to. We had off-campus lunch privileges when you were a senior, so you were allowed to go drive and go anywhere and eat as long as you're back within like 30 minutes. There was a McDonald's that everyone went to because it was so close by, and they gave discounts. And one of the hallmarks of it is they give away free mints. So one of my dumb friends had the brilliant idea of let's take the whole box of mints because they're free. So they're free, so we can just take all of them. So why don't we take all of them? Why do we have to keep just take a handful? So he goes there and he asks one of the employees where they keep the box of mints. He's like, usually in the supply box, why are we out? He goes, oh, I think you are. So he goes to unlock it and brings one out, and he just takes the other box and leaves. And he's like, I'm not gonna get in trouble, dudes. It's free. Like, what are they gonna do? And I was like, oh my god. I was like, okay. We're just gonna go back to the school and give them out to everybody. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Still working through those mints.
Just a giant box of mints. I was like, okay. Whatever.
Our next question comes in from Cisco Ace Jackson Garcia. Just wanted to use this forum to give a huge shout out to Spiritfarer. It's on the list. What a fucking gem of a game. Cried multiple times already, both from emotional impact and pure beauty. The art style is absolutely fantastic. As for my question, how about what kinds of situations in gaming hold the most emotional impact for you, and how much can gameplay affect that? Is it writing and dialogue, or graphics and scenery, or actual gameplay? You tell me. I'm an emotional baby, so it does it all for me.
Music.
Music's
good.
answer.
Music can turn something into, a tear-inducing without me even understanding what's going on. I like start crying. I don't even know why I'm emotional right now.
I think for a scene to be emotional, there needs to be build-up.
Yeah.
I think about the end of MGS4 when you're crawling through, and it felt like it was specifically calling to mind all of the emotions that you had built up for an entire series and everything that you had gone through with that character who was rapidly aging in that game. And so it hit because it really earned that moment.
Yeah, characters most important. It's pretty easy for me to get invested in a character, but there's like a difference between being invested and then like that next step.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's kind of a combination of what you guys are saying. Is like, I'm thinking about things that I have felt are a little bit more emotional recently, like Roki and Ori, and yeah, it is kind of that combination of like they kind of got you connected to those characters throughout and early on, and then there becomes, you get these moments that come in and it's like, oh, there's something important or affecting that happens.
Yeah. I was thinking Shadow Colossus too. for like
Yeah.
moments like these, like with aggro and stuff, like especially a game with like not a ton of dialogue going on. It's like amazing how much you can connect with stuff like that.
I do feel like hurting innocent animals is a good way to get to my heart, for sure. It can be a cheap way, but it's effective, for sure.
Always.
Yeah. All right. Next question comes in from Mike Hook 1. Afternoon, allies. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. I've picked up next generation consoles on launch day, each generation since the N64. I'm not sure if it's me or the console manufacturers, but I don't feel anything for them at this time. They don't seem like tangible products, and the marketing isn't giving off a specific vibe. How are you guys feeling at this time? Do you think they have given the consumer what they need to make an informed and passionate decision as of right now to jump in?
Dude, I think you're so right. Like, 100% on point. Especially because we're getting phenomenal games continuously right now on current gen. Like, this year we got Last of Us. We got Ghost of Tsushima. Like, everyone's loving Animal Crossing. Like, we still have so many good games. And next gen feels just like a article in a magazine or something. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel tangible. There's no price. Even the lineup of games is not the best so far. So,
I mean, that's I think why it's because there's so much we don't know about it yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Once we know about price, once we see some like actual marketing for it, once we know launch games, then I feel like people will get more excited.
Yeah.
I think, and I think there's another thing where we've sort of talked about this privately here and there, but I really think that the biggest factor in all of this is that because of the pandemic, none of us are playing this stuff to hype it up. Like, no, you know, it's like there's no IGN first for a lot of these things. There's no, you know, hands-on impressions of the PS5 controller at E3. There's like all we have is what Sony and Microsoft is telling us.
Right.
We don't have anyone else that's excited for this that has any firsthand impressions other than Keely playing Astrobot for what, 20 minutes or something, you know, like that's it. That's all of it. And every other E3, you know, by this point we would have seen it, we would have played it. You know, I played, you know, Mario Galaxy and Wii Sports and all that stuff long before it was out, you know, in that madness of a booth. I was telling Huber that, you know, when a GameCube was at E3, like some idiot like used wire cutters and like snipped off a controller and put it on eBay like he wouldn't get caught. Of course, he was immediately caught.
Just so crazy.
Yeah.
But it's because, again, it's like people wanted to hold that controller. People wanted to know what it was like. And people at E3 had done that. And by now, Sony ordinarily would have been at malls and at Best Buys and like all over the place, just having Astrobot everywhere at the very least. And we don't have that.
I also think Cyberpunk is a factor too, because like it's gonna be a showpiece. A lot of people have PCs that are stronger than Xbox and PlayStation 5. And it comes out kind of right around when next gen comes out. So I mean, it's kind of sucking up some of the hype too. It's like, why do I need to be hyped about next gen if still got Cyberpunk coming?
Blood, to kind of bounce off your point, it's not even that we haven't. I do think not having hands-on and getting more detailed previews is definitely a factor. But even beyond that, when they are showing these games, I still don't really have a great understanding of what they're going to look like, how they're going to play. Like, I think you could kind of go down the list at all of the games that will be either at launch or around launch, or that they've chosen to show off. And I don't know what they're going to be like. Like, we've gotten very, very, very small snippets. And obviously that's going to change, but right at this moment, I don't feel the excitement. And I think, Huber, kind of what you were saying with Cyberpunk, right? Like, they're taking deep dives with that game. There have been multiple rounds of previews. They're doing these series. And so, like, that's something that is this gen. And, you know, you'll be able to play it on the new consoles as well. But that's something that is right around the corner on hardware that you already have, and we have a much better idea of what that game's going to end up being like.
And it sounds like the next gen, quote unquote, build of Cyberpunk probably won't be ready by the end of the year. You know,
No, I think they said next year, right?
You essentially get the equivalent of boost mode on next gen consoles for the next few months. But yeah, like Miles Morales pretty much confirmed to be a launch game. Haven't seen any of it pretty much.
Yeah.
Right.
And like I'm in because I enjoyed Insomniac Spider-Man so much, and I think it's a great game. But it would be nice to actually see it, especially with things so close.
I think we got a good look at Ratchet, but I'm pretty sure that's not a launch game. But yeah.
Right.
If that's a launch game, holy moly.
And it's not just these big games, Hubert. It's like, I think everyone's just kind of reconnected with their consoles in an interesting way, being stuck at home the last couple months. I think people are just like, very much in love with their PC, Xbox, Switch, PS4. And so I think that kind of grown attachment, just in this era that we're living in, combined with this lack of knowledge, it's just like, it just doesn't create that need where you're like, it's going to make my life so much better. It's like, my life's pretty great. There's a lot of, and I've just learned, I just feel like the indie scene, at least just with marketing, has just had a much bigger presence this summer than it has in previous summers, just with Guerrilla Collective and, all of these different, debuts that have happened. So there's just a lot of stuff shadow dropped. Spiritfarer was a shadow drop, there's just a lot of things being introduced in our lives that are fantastic. And so these companies just haven't done a good job. It'd be like, wait, you haven't seen anything yet. It's like, well, then show us. Like, well, not yet. We're like, well, you got 3 months, dude. Probably do that.
What were you gonna say, Damiani?
Oh, I was gonna say, did you see the part of the Gamescom opening night live? They announced a Ratchet & 5 PS5 demo.
Ratchet & Clank PS5 demo?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Don't know when, like, obviously, because the system's not out, but maybe at launch they'll have a demo available for it.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Very exciting.
Yeah, I would love to have some demos.
And some Doom Eternal DLCs there.
Whoo!
Yeah.
Is it getting hot in here? Or is it just
Yeah, it is.
Oh, well, it's definitely getting hot in here.
is.
Our next question comes in from Asbo Zapruder. Good afternoon, allies. Assuming nothing has changed and this is still being streamed on Tuesday, that means today's my birthday. Happy birthday.
Nice.
Birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Okay.
On the one hand, this means I am very close to 40 and have absolutely nothing to show for it. On the other hand, cake and free stuff. So swings and roundabouts, as the British like to say. Anyway, I've thought about it and decided that what I really want as a present is to hear everyone's earliest memories and or impressions of Michael Huber.
I can't remember. We were too young. We were too young. We were kindergartners, probably.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Probably playing with like Lincoln Logs in the corner
Yeah,
or something.
something like that. Yeah.
Gosh. Almost makes me wish like you were just gonna say like he just came up to me and goes, "Dude, hype!"
No,
like this.
I don't remember anything like that.
That would have been amazing.
This just definitely was not the first interaction I had with Huber, but it's the thing that springs to mind, so I'll go with it. Boy, Huber's still obviously a ball of energy, but when he first got into game trailers, I was pretty new there at the time too, and it was so nice having somebody that was just incredibly receptive to passion. I could excitedly talk about anything, and Huber would get there so quickly. And I remember talking to him about Persona 4, and then I remember him using his, downtime at GT, playing the Vita and playing Persona 4, and us just excitedly talking about it. And it wasn't just Persona 4, it was a ton of things, but just watching me say something and then seeing Huber fall in love with it, or Huber saying something and me falling in love with it. It was just this ping pong of passion that was really, really awesome.
He came up to me at a live event and screamed at me. I remember that. And you were right behind him, weren't you, Brad?
Yeah, I was there.
And I remember the look on your face with him, just his excitement, and you behind him being like, This is my friend.
Yeah.
He's like, you better get used to this.
Yeah.
No, but I've told the story before. I want to add a little extra onto it. But I always come back to that E3, the first E3 we worked together, Huber. And I pulled Huber aside afterwards, and I was just like, Huber, you got a lot of enthusiasm, but you are physically grabbing and shaking people. Like you need to just calm down. Sometimes it works with people. It's fine with me. I'm all about hugs, man. But it might not work in a work environment. But like the night before, I seriously had to sit down with Amanda, and I was like, I got this guy. He's got a lot of passion. He's a really hard worker. I love working with him. He just is physically accosting people, and I don't know what to do about it. I'm sure he'll be responsive. Just tell him. And I was like, okay, I won't tell him until the event's over, though, because I don't want it to get in his head. Okay, I'll tell him.
The Jones telling Huber to chill out moments are some of the greatest Easy Hour stories that we have. When they were playing X-Men Arcade, and Jones just like cold as ice says, "You got about one more of those." Like that needs to go in a museum.
Yeah,
Holy
dude.
shit!
Laying down the law.
Too good. Oh, I get in these moods like all the time where it's just like repeat. It's like a broken record, dude. It's just like skips in my brain over and over.
That's the syndrome, dude.
Yeah.
Huber always would come by and do the shoulder thing, like, dude, like whatever you were playing. I just remember everything come by and he was just like just loved it, and then like wanted to talk or would just make like a remark like, sick, you're playing this, awesome, and walk by, and I was like, oh wait, what? It was like drive-by Huber, so I was like, oh no, here comes the drive-by Huber again.
Yeah, when we were in an office together, I think it definitely tapered off over time, but Huber would come up to my desk and just like put his hands on my shoulders. Like he'd be like looking at something on the computer and he'd just be like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" Yeah. That definitely happened.
Yeah, good times.
Good times.
I would say just from Saturday, August 22nd, direct message from Michael Huber in chat, 8:08 p.m. Gotham Knights. Co-op, Jones. Co-op.
Yep.
Just out of nowhere, like, whoa, yeah.
That's how it always is, dude.
What was the
If you guys could see the messages Huber sent me,
What was the
out of control.
Your reason was which was it? Which Mission Impossible? You're like, dude, Fallout or whatever.
Fallout, dude. One of the best action movies of all time.
I think there have been multiple instances. The random channel on our Slack is basically Huber's channel, and I think there have been multiple just like out of context images of Thanos.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Setting
good.
the tone. Let me go turn my fan on real quick. It is hot.
Oh. Yeah. So I've got one from one. This is Sunday. Just completely unrelated to anything. Dude, soundtrack 2020, man. Last of Us Part 2, though. Brilliant. All caps.
I love getting hyped on music with Bloodworth.
But yeah, I as always, I'm very bad with specific stories. I more vividly remember like Ian's stories about Huber than anything.
The Dark Root Basin.
But definitely remember like, yeah, just like the energy and like you getting an assignment and like, all right, and you just run to the back and take care of whatever the crap it is that needed to get captured back in those days.
It's that restaurant
those,
work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those freelance scripts.
You guys are great.
Our next question comes in from Joey Din. What's your least favorite, most disappointing video game ending and why?
Dark Souls 1, but not anymore. Not anymore.
You were pissed about that, I remember.
Not anymore. Because, like, those early days of Souls when it was just so mysterious, wasn't all meted out, you know, working so hard to beat that game, you know, like everything you got to beat it. One of the hardest things ever. And it just ends.
It's like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, what?
It's like, that's it? What?
Yeah.
You know, you're expecting something, but obviously over the course of the years, talking to Brad, talking to Ben, Ian, everyone, like playing more of the series and realizing, you know, the type of storytelling it's doing and what it's all about. Like I've come around to it. But at the time, for a long time, so pissed.
Yeah.
Disappointed.
Having to pay for the Asura's Wrath ending is some bullshit.
Oh.
That is a fantastic game that more people should play, but
So
the
good.
way that they broke that up was infuriating. Yeah.
Yeah.
I game flagged that, Ben, so I never saw the real ending.
Yeah. And it's the real ending is super worth seeing. Yeah.
I don't remember the details of how it actually ended up ending, but Prince of Persia
That's what I was gonna bring up.
2006 or whatever.
Same thing. DLC,
Yep.
same thing.
But then the DLC didn't actually resolve
that's
anything
so-
either. I
it was
ended up
disappointing
watching a
as
YouTube video of it. And I'm like, this still didn't tell me anything.
Didn't Lords of Shadow do the same thing? Or no?
Yeah, I was thinking of that. I remember being pissed because
Yeah.
the DLC was post game. But like, I'd be okay with that nowadays. But I remember at the time being like, "What the fuck, dude?
Pay for the ending, dude.
Yeah, what?"
Somebody in our Twitch chat said Far Cry 5, and that, you know, fair. That ending is pretty bad.
It's funny with me with Far Cry 5. I was so tuned out of that story by the time it got to the
know.
ending that I thought the ending was actually kind of exciting. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. You know, like I didn't care about anything at that point, story-wise. I had a lot of fun in that game.
Let's hear it, Damiani.
I mean, for the build-up, Mass Effect 3, any of the endings weren't worth it to
Oh,
me.
yeah. Good call.
I mean, I think as time gone by, it's like tempered the resentment towards it. It's just mostly been like in live up to expectations. I don't know if it's like the ultimate worst. I remember being really annoyed at a portion of Skyward Sword's ending.
I was about to ask you about that.
I felt very insulted by a component of it, and I was just like, man, okay. You had me, but then you did this, and like I am so out. I like, man, harsh.
Oh yeah, MGS5, kind of weird.
Weird, but like, can't really blame
Like
it.
it is what it is
because
but
of Konami.
It
Yeah,
definitely felt unfulfilled.
for sure.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, it's over, I guess.
Rampage on the NES.
Oh.
I just remember, like, as a young lad, specifically being like, "I'm gonna beat this. This game's fun. I'm gonna beat this." And it took me hours and hours. And it's a green map of the United States, and it says "Congratulations." No credits. No, it's just like, "Yeah, you're done." And I remember, like, you know, like 10 years old, I was like, "This is bullshit." I was so upset.
Somebody in chat mentioned Dead Space 3, and the ending is
Oh my
super,
god!
I didn't even
super
get
dumb.
there.
Yeah, the ending is about as dumb as they could have made it, but that whole game is frustrating.
Yeah.
All right.
And they also had post-game DLC as well.
I don't think I did the post-game DLC. for
They
Dead
did?
Space 3.
Yes.
I was pretty done once I finished the main game.
Hubert, dude, I played through Kane Lynch 1 and 2 with you, but I quit Dead Space 3.
I know.
Holy shit.
Because Brad, Kane and Lynch 2 coming in at a cool 5 hours. Get in and get out.
That's true. Oh, I got out fast.
Kane and Lynch 2 is like so bizarrely fast. Like everything about it. Yeah. It's a weird game. All right. Next question comes in from Master Pants. Hi, allies. If you had to pick a normal video game and turn it into a full anime video game, likely with an ESRB rating of partial nudity, what game would it be?
Wait, say it again. Turn a video game into an anime game?
Yeah, I think he's saying
Okay.
like animify a game
Oh, okay.
that is not an anime.
Oh, dude, I'm doing like any From Software game. It'd be hilarious to me to see
Bloodborne anime?
Bloodborne like that shit or something. Yeah.
Gears of War, definitely.
Dude,
Oh,
War's
Gears of War is a
pick, too.
great pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
They all have like superpowers and stuff.
Why don't you,
Dude, Metal Gear already is an anime.
Yeah.
right?
It is.
Why don't you do like Grand Theft Auto or a Red Dead?
Dude, Red Dead.
Red
Dead
Dead
anime
Western
would be
anime,
sick.
yeah.
Terrific.
Yeah.
I want to.
Cowboy animes.
Imagine just like spinning the revolver anime style, like.
I want to animify
So awesome.
The Last of Us Part 2 just to see what would happen.
Yeah.
Or I see like Kill Bill animation, like when he smashes the guy's head. And
Yeah.
stuff. Something like that.
Oh, that's a cool idea, Huber.
Smashing people's heads on walls.
Yeah.
Cool idea.
Feels good. Feels good.
Well, you know, but in that
Good
Kill Bill
crunch.
style.
What's that?
I have cat
Just
hair.
Huber wrote into his Last of Us 2 script. You can see the life leave their eyes.
Right.
So here I am, frame by frame, going through Last of Us 2 footage, cutting the review, being like, I mean, I can see their eyes, but it's just, I don't see the life leaving, you know? Maybe I'll pick another one. And the shot, I wasn't happy with the shot I picked for the review, you know? But Huber's got me, 2 a.m, just frame by frame.
I think that's an appropriate thing to say though for that review.
Yeah, you gotta
Gotta have that
represent it,
shot
you know?
log though, Huber.
Right?
Yeah,
Shot log.
life leaving us.
Which shot are we talking about? BioShock.
Oh, sweet.
Bioshock.
Dude, an anime Big Daddy drill kill?
Mm-hmm.
That could be good.
Ah!
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about like something like Rurouni Kenshin or something along those lines. It's like crazy.
Anime.
Let's get Forza.
Forza?
Initial D.
I remember Capcom did like a racing game that was trying to be all cel shaded and stuff back in PS2 GameCube era. What, Auto Modelista, something like
Auto
that?
Modelista.
Yeah.
Was it that? I remember that game. Was it that though?
They do
Ask
have.
and you shall receive.
I don't think it
Great
was
initial
bad.
D
I don't think
arcade
it
game.
caught on the way they wanted to.
How about The Witcher?
Sure.
Anime
Yeah, man.
Witcher.
I really want Geralt's voice actor to say Segoy now. Like, yeah, okay. Good stuff.
I wonder if he does. Somebody send us a clip from the Japanese VO.
Oh, hey, there you go.
Oh,
There you
yeah.
go, Blood. Our next question comes in from Yasser Kerbushi. Hey allies, hope you've all been doing well. This topic can be very broad and covers almost all facets of life, but I want to focus on a specific type of video game or entertainment in general, and that is nostalgia. As we grow older and hopefully wider, so does our tastes. Our view of the world could change, and we might start to see things differently. This is true for the video games we loved playing growing up. I always find it fascinating to hear opinions about a game I hold very dear to me from my early years of gaming from someone who doesn't have an emotional attachment to it like I do, especially if said game might not be as great as I remember it to be. So my question is, how do you guys deal with being nostalgic towards games that aren't necessarily great? Personally, I try to enjoy these old games or movies as I did when I was a kid, but still be self-aware of my emotional attachment to it. I think it's fine to enjoy something from the past, even if it isn't great, but I find value in knowing that it objectively might not be as great as I remember.
Part of me scared to play Legends 2 again, Huber, because like, what if it's not? I remember that being absolutely spectacular. I think
Same.
Legends 2 has my favorite
Same.
Cyclops ability, where he just does like one little pulse and it ricochets off of everything. So I'd walk into a room and just go, boop, 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 and just it would be like a fireworks show. But like, I don't know.
Does it
Yeah.
hold up?
Sometimes
I
I,
think those
feel
games
bad.
in particular, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I play like a PS2 game and it just doesn't look like it obviously doesn't, look as good as games these days, but I'm like ashamed how like unimpressed I am with the visuals. I'm like, come on, this is made at the time. Like just, so that can happen.
Yeah, it's funny for me because I feel like I don't get that very often. I feel like there's just like very few games that really fit into that bucket for me to where like I have that nostalgic feeling, that feeling where I'm like going back in time or whatever, and some of them too, it's like I'm actually sort of surprised when I look at back in an old game and I'm like, this game had all this stuff going on back then. That's why I like always go back to like my first RPG, Legacy of the Ancients, and it's like, yes, I have a nostalgic, emotional attachment to it, but it's like, you can go into this game and like rob a bank, kill the bank teller, rob all the cash, and run out of town, and they'll remember you the next time you come back. Like, it's some complex stuff going on in the Commodore 64 RPG.
Yeah, I'm trying to process this question, and I think two things. I think one, when you go back and you're like, oh man, like this isn't as good as I remember it being. I think that's like kind of an encouraging sentiment. I really enjoy, just because I'm so invested in video games, like I kind of enjoy charting the progression of things. That's why I really enjoyed working on retrospectives. And so even if something isn't good, I kind of enjoy analyzing it from the perspective of, this is where we came from. So it's not really like, oh no, it isn't as good. It's like, oh, why isn't this as good? Like, where have we come from? And I think it's still fascinating from like a historical context. But at the other hand, I think it's good that everybody has those things that they know aren't good and enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
You know, sometimes you just need to turn off your brain and feel like a kid again for a few minutes. And I think that's harmless as well.
Yeah. Well, I think a kind of a good example of that, which I played, was it last year or the year before? But I finally got around to like going through all of Ninja Gaiden, you know, the NES version.
Oh God.
And realizing that like, yeah, a lot of this difficulty is just garbage, cheap tricks, and the last zone actually having a bug. So it doesn't work like all the rest of the game. So you have to keep going back through these levels over and over again that you're not supposed to, but they just decided to leave it that way rather than fixing it in later versions.
Yeah, pretty much exactly what Ben said. I love replaying games. I love replaying my favorite games. And I just love, you know, if it's not as good as I remember, it makes me happy how good video games are now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're so good now, damn it.
True.
I was always complaining, but they're so good.
I think this question does touch on a good aspect, though. Like, being able to kind of take a step back and being like, okay, maybe I'm not being as fair to this thing as it deserves is like always good. Because like when I talk about Metal Gear Solid 1, right, like that game, that's like the most important game ever to me. And so I think it's good to have that self-awareness where it's like, okay, this, I do have a bias here. Where is that bias coming from? And like trying to address that. I think anytime you're trying to have a conversation with anybody, like if you have that self-awareness, that will lead to a more productive conversation for sure. And that can be hard to do, especially when you're really passionate about it. But yeah, I totally see where this question asker's coming from. Jones, I think you're going to be good for this next one. Next question comes in from Ulf himself. Hello, allies. We're finally getting Disney Plus where I live next month, and I'm looking forward to watching some classic Simpsons episodes.
Good to know when that happens. Yeah, a lot of people were waiting.
Which episode should I watch first?
Of what specifically?
Simpsons
dude,
episodes.
This is a Damiani question.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
Yeah.
Apparently, everyone's going to tell you to watch the monorail episode.
Monorail.
And it's hilarious because I just got to a more recent episode where the monorail came back.
Ooh.
Oh no!
As a gag, as a gag.
Oh.
It wasn't the whole focus of the episode, but the episode starts off with they converted the. Well, I don't want to say anything, but yeah, they did something with the monorail thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, 29 years in the making for that joke right there.
Dude.
Huber loves the one where like any of the ones where like the famous gifts come from, like Homer going over the Flanders' yard and then like seeing
Terminator,
and then going right back through the bush.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I always remember one of my all-time favorites was when Wiggum and Bart get the key to the city. I remember that episode being just so funny.
The Ralph is probably might be my favorite character in that show.
Yeah, dude.
The one where like the doll or whatever falls on him goes, which was the me? I was like, oh my god. His
Damiani,
reactions, everything is perfect.
The tone of your voice was so high that RTX voice cut out most of it. It did not know what to do with it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. RTX voice did not like it. You should. There's the episode where the Marge and Homer lose their kids to the Flanders, and they're being like raised by like the Flanders, and they're about to baptize them at the end, and Homer
jumps in front of it. Yeah. It like burns them too, I think, or something.
It's just hilarious. The Treehouse of Horror episodes are really good. I think my favorite episode, they always do 3. My favorite one's the one where Homer signs a contract where his signs over his soul to the devil, and they try and torture him in hell by feeding him endless donuts.
Isn't that where he like turns into a donut, or is that a different one? His head.
I think that's different.
That's the one where he messes. I think that's one where he messes with the past.
Okay.
That's that one, and that one's a good one too. But yeah, where the Beelzebub's is like feeding him like, here, you like donuts?
Yeah, it keeps going. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you just wanted to start with like the first 6 Treehouse of Horrors, you might be pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, we're 5 weeks away from October, so you might if you save those, that just binging all of that stuff would be pretty great.
You should watch all the Sideshow Bob episodes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, those ones
order.
are all good.
Yeah.
Itchy and Scratchy Land's, I think, my favorite episode.
Yeah, dude.
All right.
These are all good.
Good
And
stuff.
then when you're done,
Oh, they do turn him
play
into a
the
donut
game.
at the end of that episode. Yeah. He's right. Brad was right.
What were you going to say, Huber?
When you're done, play the game.
The PS3 one?
The arcade one.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Or hit and run.
I
Can
feel
you
like
get the arcade game anywhere, actually? Probably not, huh? It's delisted.
I don't know if
think
I don't know
so.
if it's delisted, but
Damn it.
I love, like, I feel like so many kind of like 90s and 2000s like media tie-in games had that slogan where it's like, you've seen the movie, now play the game. Like they just did that over and over and over again. Yeah. Next question comes in from Brian from Happy Gaming. Hey there, allies. This is the first time I've submitted to the Q&A. Embarrassingly,
Nice.
I've always thought it was an extension of Cup of Jones and was a business question show. That aside, I want to know about your personal gaming traditions. For as long as I can remember, my brothers and I always like to get together to play Super Mario Bros. 3 the days around Christmas. We jumped around to a couple of other games, Zelda 2, RE4, but always came back to Mario 3, and the game still feels festive to me. For around a decade, I had a period where I managed a movie theater and wasn't allowed to take holidays off. I had the place to myself for those days. It became an annual tradition to order a couple of large Pizza Hut stuffed crusts, settle into a couple of retro game pickups, saved indies, or sink into a long JRPG while the snow fell outside for those long hours at home alone. Do you guys like to save certain games for specific times of the year, something breezy in the summertime vacation heat, or family traditions that you continue or evolve and come back to?
Horror.
Yeah.
Same.
Halloween, obviously. I play horror all year, but Halloween is like extra dose.
Same.
Undead Nightmare and Dead Rising always come back to me every October.
Mhm.
Undead Nightmare is just long enough. It's just the perfect length to just zip through it.
I love having any excuse to play horror games, and Halloween, yeah, you just have to. The mood is right.
Christmas, I like to play MMOs.
Yeah. We've done a lot of that, yeah.
Get in the zone with an MMO, cup of hot chocolate, grind away.
Grind out, yeah.
I feel like I love having a long Japanese game to play at Christmas. Like,
Sure.
played Yakuza 0 at Christmas, played Valkyria Chronicles 4. I think it was like around Christmas, played Yakuza Kiwami 2. Like something meaty to sink your teeth into at Christmas is good.
Yeah, I it's definitely something I do now for sure is have something long. I mean, like last year was Death Stranding. I thought I'll just sail through Death Stranding and then catch up on all these other games. And I was like, nope, I'm doing this the whole time.
Yeah.
And then another part of my traditions is just because I end up not. It's a tradition because I end up not making time for it to the rest of the year. Like I always intend to do is going through the soundtracks and just kind of just putting the headphones on and taking a bunch of notes and going through 24 or so different albums. But yeah, one of the things, it's not a thing that we've done for a few years now. Everyone's kind of gone their separate ways a little bit. But when I first moved to California, we have a friend that she would always, because LA is such a transient kind of city for everybody. Nobody that lives here is from here except for like Jones and Huber and Brad. So she would always invite people up to Thanksgiving in Northern California, and it's a kind of not really close to Yosemite, but the same kind of terrain, small town vibes, and like a little like historic gold rush town that we would go shopping in and stuff. And it was funny because the first couple of years it was just like my chance to just totally get away from video games entirely. But then one of my roommates had roped me into bringing Mario Kart one year, and then it was impossible to not bring Mario Kart and then to not bring Wii Sports when Wii Sports came out. And so that was just, that was a part of Thanksgiving, is packing a bag full of controllers to go up there.
Cool. I really want to play some Mario Kart 64 with you guys. In
Hell
person, with hot chocolate. Our next question is from We Miss Lightning Standy. Hi, allies. How do you think the toads of the Mushroom Kingdom reproduce? Thanks.
Oh.
It's a very funny question to say thanks
Hop on
after.
top of each other.
Aren't they grown?
Yeah, I was gonna say they're like grown on the ground or something.
And like, aren't Goombas evil toads that got corrupted? Like the elves.
You're asking
like
us?
Orcs. Orcs used to be elves, but they were like corrupted by dark magic in Lord of the Rings. It's kind of like that.
I feel like this has potentially been addressed in some Mario RPG or Mario and Luigi or Paper Mario game somewhere. And B, I remember somebody saying they were like writing, this is like just something I randomly came across on Twitter one day. They were like writing for a mushroom character for some other thing that they were doing. And they were trying to figure out if it would be appropriate for them to have parents. And they went down the whole rabbit hole of how fungi reproduce. And it's just like, it's completely foreign to anything you might imagine. It's an entirely different concept. So yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
What?
It's an uncomfortable thing to think about,
Yeah.
regardless of how it happens.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable.
Next question. Skip it.
Michael Angnell asks, hello, Easy Allies. If there could be only 3 new remakes announced in the next 6 years, which games would you want remakes of? I'd choose Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy IX, and Chrono Trigger.
S, X, Trigger! Trigger!
Man, yeah, it seems with like Tony Hawk getting that stuff, that SSX would be like next in line. Make it happen, EA. This was big.
Only
Final
3.
Fantasy VI is a big one, but it'd be real specific for what I'd want to have out of that thing. I don't want a Trials of Mana.
Yeah, you want the real deal? Big boy?
Yeah, big boy, but also very true to the Amano art style.
Oh, okay.
I want Onimusha or Dino Crisis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Capcom, man. Let's get
I
it.
just got
Let's go.
confused because I've just played Onimusha, but it's remake, right?
Yeah.
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 Remake it.
Yeah, not just we cropped the top and bottom off and called it 16 by 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, remake's hard because I guess I'd have to have a good image in my mind of what it would look like and what, if any, changes would be made, I guess.
Yeah, I'd like another remake of Shadow of the Colossus.
Saw you,
Come on.
Put one of the cut colossi in it, actually.
animal.
This way 10 more years, it'll blow us away again. Every 10 years, just keep remaking Shadow of the Colossus. It'll work.
Just raise that bar.
Let's keep raising the bar.
How do we know where the bar is if they don't do it?
I can't wait for those comparison videos about the foliage. Like, look at the density of the flowers, the increase in that. Wow.
And people
Like,
complain about Wander's face again.
Like this 12K, 16K masterpiece with DLSS 5.0. Oh my gosh, it blows us away.
I think I'd really like an Eternal Darkness remake.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, I'd love to see those ideas presented
Yeah.
with modern technology. Sorry.
Yeah,
Mike,
it's
what
one
were
of
you
the
saying?
things that's a little difficult with that game is that a lot of the tricks that it used are very dependent on
Right.
the technology of the time. You know,
Right.
like the changing of the volume and all of that. It's like
Yep.
that's not what changing the volume looks like on a TV anymore. Wave Race is one I always come back to.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a good one.
pick.
They nailed those physics. You just needed to look better.
Are we harder to scare in 2020, Blood? When something technically go wrong in Eternal Darkness and you just go, yeah, well, you turn off your console. You're like, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Play something else.
Well, what's funny is I haven't had a whole lot of Switch games crash on me. You know, like with PS4, like you would easily you get that blue screen and the error report message and all that. I'm not exactly sure what a Switch game crash looks like, or if it just goes back to the home menu.
I would want Pilot Wings Super Nintendo remade in 3D and make it look like super realistic. Because I want to do the Penguin and Birdman missions, that high fidelity visuals, 3D visuals. Just like doing the skydiving part and being in like 3D. What games have skydiving point-based games like that nowadays? None.
This is not the most exciting answer, but considering how much I like Streets of Rage 4, I would love something of that quality, but with Golden Axe. And I think there's a ton of potential there. And like the original Golden Axe soundtrack is still so good. Yeah. A lot of room.
Remake World of Warcraft. Just
Oh,
remake
God,
it,
dude.
We're going back, dude. Not classic. We're remaking it.
That would be an undertaking.
Yeah.
I'd be there.
Yeah, that would be exciting.
I would do it again.
Yeah.
I'd start all over.
Yeah. All right, cool. Good answers, everybody. Next question comes in from Sage Mode Q. Hello, allies. Somebody asked a fun question on Love and Respect in the podcast about combining the last two games you played together, and I loved the idea, so I thought we could play kind of a little game. I went through the roughly 200 games in my PlayStation library with my eyes closed and randomly paired some of them. Now you tell me what the game would look like, and would you play it? Some of these combos turned out pretty crazy. Good luck. I think what would it look like, since there's a reasonably sizable list, might take too long, so maybe let's focus on the would you play it aspect a little bit more heavily. The Witcher 3 and Outlast.
Yeah,
That is
totally.
so bizarre. You're
An
just
interesting
running
one.
from a big freako or something.
The Bloody Baron.
Yeah, he's like after you.
He's chasing you.
I mean, living in the Witcher world but not being a Witcher would be terrifying.
Yeah, you're
You
just
know?
a villager.
You're
like,
just a villager. Yeah, exactly.
okay,
Peasant,
I'm in.
yeah.
I'm 100% in. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Sekiro and Persona 5.
Oh shit!
No.
You wouldn't play that? Is that what you're
not.
saying?
I would not.
What? I'll play the
I'm
shit
in.
out of that in a
in.
heartbeat, dude.
I don't even know what it would be, but I'm in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, even if it's just like Sekiro with social links, I'm down,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Can you boost your relationship with a giant snake?
I was thinking about
Yeah.
the giant snake blood.
Dude, yeah, call outs would be crazy in this game.
Final Fantasy VII Remake and Mortal Kombat XL. Absolutely.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
the easiest hit of my
Yes.
life.
Yes.
Yes. Cloud doing fatalities? Yeah. Dragon Ball Fighters and Bloodborne.
Like Goku beating up a cleric beast?
Yeah, I'm in for
I'm into that. Yeah, why the hell not?
Yeah. Doom Eternal and Jack and Daxter.
Wow.
Just doesn't.
Gory.
Jack 2 and 3 get pretty edgy.
Yeah, Doom Eternal's got a lot of platforming in it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
I think we're just in for all these. All right.
Yeah, we're in.
Yeah.
Wolfenstein: The New Colossus and Yakuza Kiwami 2.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, man. Like Kiryu and Majima fighting Nazis or something, dude.
I mean,
Yeah, man, that'd be cool.
All right, yeah. Oh,
action
yeah.
on some Nazi scum.
Yeah, absolutely.
In.
What are you boys doing on our turf?
Hey!
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Ian,
Ian, yeah,
Where-
Bloodborne and Dragon Quest, Dragon Ball Fighters. What are you playing? These two games are merging together. Bloodborne and Dragon Ball Fighters.
Sounds good.
Nice. We did it.
What's the question there? It just
the
sounds
question?
good.
He just randomly paired up games in his PlayStation library, and he wants to know if these games fused, will we play them?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Resident Evil 7 and Kingdom Hearts 3.
Dude, hell yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, dude. Like,
Good
can,
one.
but
Sora
can Resident
fighting like,
Evil?
the molded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like partying up with Jack or some shit, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Resident Evil is just a world they go to.
Yeah.
Go to the Baker house.
Louisiana, dude. Fighting Marguerite. Yeah, man.
Sora, I'm infected.
So,
We all are goofy.
Yeah.
Uncharted 4 and Batman Arkham City.
Oh hell yeah!
Hmm.
Feels like it would be
Who's
Batman.
got the better
but
grappling hook?
feels like you just play as Red Hood.
Yeah.
Sure.
Shooter.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that take on it. Yeah, that makes sense. Shadow of the Colossus and GTA 5.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That sounds marvelous.
the Colossi terrorizing.
Like you have to
San
pull a
Andreas.
like you have to pull a heist on the Colossi.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about Shadow of the Colossus with radio stations. That's
I'm just thinking about Colossi. Just full destruction on this city, just mowing through buildings.
oh,
I
that
kind of
was
like the
awesome.
idea of Colossi as just other players, you know? Like a Colossi just got a hat on and like a cool jacket and chains, you know? And it's just trying to just blend in, you know, with everybody else. I'm down.
Fun question. Next one comes in from Richard G. Flowers. Howdy, allies. I've enjoyed the vast majority of Sony's exclusive properties on PS4. At the same time, we've probably all heard the criticisms that many of these titles have started to fit the same descriptions. Third person, open world, light RPGs with skill trees. Whilst a lot of newer Sony IPs do seem to fit this trend, this isn't universal, and I think these arguments ignore the fact that a lot of these designs have impacted gaming in general. It's far from being just Sony. That said, thinking about their IP from PS4, we're going to roleplay as Sony executives. You are all now in a position to make decisions about the diversification of Sony's IP for PS5. How are you going to build the PS5's Mount Rushmore? If you all had to envision two new games each, one being the typical big exclusive and the other being a push for PSVR 2, what do you feel is sorely missing from the catalog as it is now? You don't need to highlight a particular studio, and all the unannounced sequels that are probably safe bets, like God of War, are already a given. I mean, it would mean the world just... Sony, just if you get behind Silent Hill, I will be eternally grateful. If you make that a PS5 Mount Rushmore game,
Yep.
that
Dude,
would
to
mean
make
a lot to me.
Castlevania the indie one, dude.
Sure.
Sony has so many great characters I love. I would love some kind of multiplayer game
Yeah,
to take advantage of all those characters.
I think that's a
I've
great
tried
idea.
that.
Yeah, like
Yeah, they
Battle
tried
Royale.
that.
Yeah,
All Stars.
not All Stars. Please, not.
You want a Battle Royale, Huber?
I don't know.
You want Avengers game?
I don't even know what it would look like, if it would be games as a service or a battle royale or I don't know.
Fall Guys.
Yeah, Fall Guys, but
Guys.
with just Sony characters. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Some super violent Fall Guys.
I really miss and think is tied strongly to the PlayStation brand, like just goofy, wacky, fun, well-made like character rhythm games. I'm thinking of like, of course, Parappa the Rapper or Unjammer Lammy, and like if there's any way that the spirit of those games could come back strong, that would be really cool.
Like I know a lot of people hate battle royales and there's like oversaturation, but imagine dropping in as any Sony character and they all play like they do in their own games. Like you drop in with Kratos and you got the Leviathan axe, or you know, Drake has guns or and his grappling hook.
That sounds like a balancing nightmare.
It definitely does.
I would be
But it
on
sounds
board
fun
with-
as hell.
I would be on board with this if like I could drop in as Kaz Hirai. That would be
Yeah, he's a character
Yeah.
himself for sure.
Yep.
Didn't Nier do something like that, or with Square Enix
Yeah, they had like
bosses
the
or
Square
something?
Enix president or something.
Yeah, Mr. Headshot from Suda.
I just can't stop thinking about a literal Mount Rushmore with PlayStation characters in it. And I'm like, get Maria from Bloodborne in there, Drake, probably Joel and Ellie or something. One or the other.
Hey, where's that
Kratos.
Bloodborne PC port at?
Yo.
Where's it at?
Gamescom, dude. Shadow drop.
I have my doubts on that thing's existence.
Yeah, I know.
Same, yeah.
I know. I just want it. That's all.
I'd buy it. I'll pay for it if that helps them to make it.
What if they're watching this Q&A and they're like, all right, that's it.
There
That's
it
all we
is.
needed.
There it is.
But like they're talking about different genres and things that Sony's been around, like hasn't been involved with. I mean, yeah, we got like Warhawk and Starhawk, and then that all kind of disappeared, right?
Starhawk.
There wasn't a lot there to attach to, I think, in a story standpoint. And so I think that's one of the things when you do these third-person cinematic games, like you get a lot of close-up shots of people's faces, and people connect the faces a lot easier than they connect the planes.
Yep.
So
Put a face on that plane.
yeah.
They do these games because they sell a lot, and people like them. That's why they keep making them.
Well, and
It's
it's
the
also
train
what
engine
their
exclusive
writers
to
want to
PlayStation
write and
5.
create, and yeah, they connect
Yeah.
to it as well.
But do you think Sony would be more likely to be invested or interested in a third-person open world game or an FPS multiplayer game? Because they tried that, like Dust, and they tried Twisted Metal, and like no one cared. No one cared.
Just
Mag,
tied
no
to
one
EVE
cared.
Online. Yeah,
I know,
Dude,
but like
Mag's
that was
yeah.
PS3 only though. Like
Yeah.
Mag, no one cares. SOCOM's dead.
Yeah, boy, it would be really nice if they could bring back
Killzone.
SOCOM. That
Killzone,
feels
yeah,
like,
they're not doing that for a bit.
feels like an easy
It's
victory.
funny though that the answer to perceived genre saturation is where are the FPS games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our next question comes in from Jesse Blue. Hello, allies. 2020 has been a sucky year. COVID sucks. Having a bunch of my friends not be able to spend time together sucks. Spending money on stuff that can't be used sucks. And not getting to actually go on vacation sucks. The worst thing, though, is the fact that wanting to get upset and showing your emotions is kind of frowned upon right now. There, I said it. Too many people expect us to put on a brave face and accept it is what it is. But damn it, I wanted to meet you guys and get a hug from Huber, and well, anyone else who would give me one. What some people don't get is that real emotions need to be displayed and be realized and released to prevent them from churning around in your guts or blasting out at the worst time. I'm using my question to give you guys the opportunity to vent. What is one thing that you really can't get over about the current situation that you feel guilty for feeling bad or angry or upset about? I love you guys, and I'm glad you can still stream from home, or else I would go insane.
I'm selling my house right now, and it's very stressful and very like there's lots of waiting and lots of like, oh, you're not quite there yet. We still got, we have to approve this. We got to get people to come out and check this thing. And so like all, part of buying a house is like getting excited, and it's like, I can't because there's no guarantee we're going to get this house we're excited about, or there's no guarantee we're going to get however much money for this house. And then like every now and then I stop and I'm just like, hey, I can sell a house to begin with. So what the hell am I complaining about? Like I'm in a position to make a lateral move like that. So, but during a heat wave and a pandemic, it is not a time I recommend to go through that process.
I got ants in my kitchen right now that have been there for like a week, and that I just can't. It's pissing me off, dude.
Yeah, man, bugs, dude.
I can't even they're in all the food. Had to throw away hundreds of dollars worth of food. Can't cook. Can't do anything. They're everywhere. Wow. It's really upsetting.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was that bad,
dude. They're everywhere. It's out of control. Infestation. Starship Troopers in here, man.
Spray him down.
Yeah, has EDF ever done that? Have they ever just like been in a kitchen rather than a city?
Like we threw some taro and raid baits out. It's not working. They're multiplying.
Wait, ant bait?
Yeah.
Huh.
poisoned
Same.
ant bait.
They take it back to
'cause
the
usually
nest.
it's like
Taro.
all your like your edges and stuff on like the outer parts of your house.
It's out of
on the inside,
control.
like by doors, frames, and stuff. Yeah, you run air conditioning a lot because I know it's more like bugs trying to get in more when it's like cooler with the extreme heat. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially ants, they try and get in.
Ants are we've back when I was a kid, we got ants one time at the house, and like it is kind of fascinating how they're always just in like a line. But like
Yeah.
I remember one time I went into the kitchen and it was only bad for like a week, and then they just went away because of taro or something that we did. But it was like just big lines of them. And I remember one time I went and I got like a cereal or whatever, and then I went to sit down and then like had ants on my legs. I like
Oh.
looked down and there were like ants on my legs, and I was like, what the hell? Luckily ants don't really skeeve me out too bad, but
Yeah. No, I definitely had those times when, growing up, teenager or whatever, like pour a bowl of cereal, put in the milk, and like, oh, look, there's ants floating. in the cereal bowl.
Oh,
at least they weren't in the food. Bloodworm.
Dude, I was like not that bothered, but it got personal this morning when I went to go pour some coffee.
Personal.
It's so you're messing with my coffee now, ants?
Last straw.
Yeah, it's so personal.
You're gonna have to get a bunch of like those vacuum seal
They made it personal.
containers.
Yeah.
I bought a couple, but those things are expensive. It's a pretty nightmare, man.
What's the company? Advient? Advient? No. What is it? Well, anyway, there's Advion. Industrial strength stuff.
Dude,
It costs like $50 for like a 60 pack of traps, but it like
Whoa.
works, dude. That it'll get things out.
link me that, Ian.
Yeah.
Link me that. It's going down.
Alright.
Desperate
I'll link
measures
it.
now.
Yeah.
I'll link it to you.
Yeah.
this whole thing has made me realize like how much I value movie theaters and going out to eat. Like, just a nice thing to do on like a Friday or Saturday night to kind of like decompress. Like, it's just, I don't know. There's just something about the ritual of going out and seeing a movie and getting a fresh bowl of popcorn that I really miss. You know,
Same.
obviously not the most important thing in the world, but I do miss it.
Yeah, me and Huber live pretty close to each other now, and I'm like, oh, I'd be sick to hang out with Huber or something. Grab some lunch or something, dude.
Yeah. No.
It's like, shit.
Sucks.
I do miss the gym too. That's true.
Yeah.
I realized the other day when I had to see a friend to just like drop something off to them at a distance that like at this point I've basically forgotten. Like I've adapted. I don't miss anyone because I don't remember that that's even a thing anymore. So that's kind of weird. But I'm lucky to have a roommate and a girlfriend that I can see. So that's not the case for everybody. If I were truly alone, I would be clawing my eyes out.
Yeah.
I would be losing it.
That's a good point. I am really glad that I don't live alone.
Yep. Same. Yeah, I've just been hanging out with Beth, watching the Vampire Diaries and the originals nonstop.
Yeah.
And
Pretty awesome. Pretty freaking awesome.
you got to watch Perry Mason, Huber. It's really good.
Definitely. Can only handle so many edgy, like intense dramas at once. And right now, I'm showing her Hannibal.
Oh
On this-
God.
Dude, we're on the season finale of season 2.
I think
Oh
that
my
I
God.
think that's
I
I think it's my favorite episode of the entire series. Is
Dude,
that
dude.
episode? Yeah.
Also, that is the most edgy and most intense show
Yeah.
maybe ever
Possible.
made.
Possible. Yeah,
it is
possible.
It is very much those things.
Like-
yeah.
An NBC show that made me
I
physically uncomfortable
I know.
still.
So good.
It's a must watch.
Uh,
though. It's
It's
so
a must
good.
watch.
Oh yeah,
You gotta watch it.
it's phenomenal. And it's on Nortflorks.
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer this question without getting like super heavy or political. So just like everything is bad, so it's like tough to find the silver linings.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
bought an Akira box set of manga for my damn self.
Sick.
So
That's a
is
win.
that.
That's a victory.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like, yeah, this is your opportunity to vent, but it's like, well, I vent when I need to vent. And
Right.
you
Yeah.
guys will hear it. Like in
Mhm.
Slack, it'll come out, or my wife will hear it. But like when he's like, okay, now vent, and like I don't know. It's not that I haven't been venting about things, but
Some people don't. It's definitely very healthy. You need that outlet.
yeah.
And some people, it's,
Well,
it's,
you
it's
can't
difficult
spell
to express
anime,
that stuff.
Our next question comes in from Robert Lee. Good day, allies. If you had nothing in your way, what would be your dream movie project? Who would be your writers, director, and cast? I would put together an epic DC versus Marvel multi-part movie using the most recent cast members.
Live action Final Fantasy VI 3-parter, 6 hours.
Whoa.
Yep.
My dream film project I would write and direct.
Yeah.
I've got a few scripts laying
I
around.
don't know about directing. I when I was in film school, I definitely was like hot on directing stuff, and like now I think I would just be happy writing, and then just like you go on set and scream at people. I'm fine.
I would direct. I think I would like to direct more than write, but I like writing, editing, and directing. So
I want a Katamari Damacy movie directed by James Wan.
Got Huber.
it's like somehow terrifying.
Like just the James
There'd be
Wan
freaky moments.
360 pans with Katamari Damacy. It might be terrible, but I would watch it.
I feel like creators give me all the movies I want, so I don't really honestly, what could I even ask for, dude? We've had Resident Evil, like it was not very good, but whatever. You know,
You can ask for good versions.
We're getting the Last of Us show. We've had the Witcher show, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Did you watch that
50
Dragon's
50
Dogma
Batman
trailer?
movies, dude. Dragon's Dogma. It's like nothing. Like, I can't even ask for anything else.
I think that a Deadly Premonition movie. You may think David Lynch would be the best director, but no, I think the Coen brothers
Ooh.
for a Deadly Premonition movie.
I like where you're going with this, Ian, but I wonder. I kind of just want Swery to direct it.
Or just Swery. Yeah.
But you still see like strange errors that you never actually see in like a professional film production.
The Deadly
There's
Premonition
just
movie
like some shot that hangs
has
too
a
long
bad
while somebody's
frame
just
rate.
walking away. Or
Exactly. Ian.
Cinematic frame rate buckles.
Yeah.
Like
That's really
anytime the movie, like, yeah, a lot of action or they're outside, the movie's at like 15 FPS.
he's drinking a cup of coffee, but it's at an angle where you can clearly see that there's nothing in the cup.
Yeah. Or that it's like plastic. It's like coffee, but it's not real coffee.
I totally lied. Okay, I want an Agents of Sword movie. There we
I don't
go.
even know what
What?
that is.
Agents of Sword? Do you mean
Just
Shield?
like
Sword,
no.
dude.
Oh.
Here we go.
I need a continuation. I need these characters to live on. I need it.
Who are the Agents of Sword?
The space version of Shield.
All right.
Space version.
Wait, Moon? What about Moon?
I mean, is this like Guardians level, you mean, or just like literally just in space? Or do you mean like
Dude, well, you guys got mad at me for spoiling freaking Spider-Man Homecoming last time, even though it's over a year old and made over $1 billion.
You know, you answer it in
So
Slack.
I
You
can't-
can
Were we
tell me in Slack. You can tell
were
me in
we
Slack.
actually mad at Huber? I don't remember anyone being
It's like,
actually
dude,
mad.
spoilers.
I think we were just messing with you.
I just saw a Simpsons episode with Jake Simmons doing that character when a flashback with Marge when she was supposed to be like a photojournalist. Like, where are the pictures? Like, they suck. Get out of here. You're fired. You know, it's like, oh my god. Yeah, perfect. I missed that so much.
I would definitely do a Star Wars movie. I would be involved in the writing of that shit too. Maybe not directing, but I would definitely be in writing for that.
I don't
Sign
want
me
to
up.
do. I don't know if I want to do ever do a movie. I feel like movies ideas I have would be like the things I want to see wouldn't make a great single movie. I also feel like a lot of video game adaptations like fail because they try and do too much in a film or they don't fully understand. So like my dream is always wanted to do is like make a Zelda show and stuff. And when like Netflix was saying they were gonna do it, I was like, oh man, they're gonna like do it, and it better be animated, better not be live action. Would not be live action, so it'd have to be animated. First of all, I don't think live
Yeah.
action do it well.
Sure.
Yeah, that was like a secret project I work on in my spare time. Is taking the A Link to the Past. There's 2 Link to the Past comics / mangas, and then there's the game itself, and then the manuals, and like I've been trying to like make notes on like a roadmap of like what would make like a good like series, like how many episodes, what would be like the ideas and stuff. And someday, I mean, I was just brainstorming at this point, writing down like notes, but someday I'm gonna fill this notebook with like a detailed thing for that someday. If never has to come to fruition, but it's like just something fun I've like wanted to do. And I don't care if it ever like happens and stuff. I was like, man, this seems awesome, so I just want to do it sometime.
Nice.
Please do that, dude. Also, Final Fantasy Tactics would make a great show, yes.
Yeah.
And Metal Gear Solid 3. Could be a movie. Metal Gear Solid could be a movie.
Our next question comes in from Varon Quechua. Hi, allies. Both The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima had patches introducing harder difficulty modes. The reviews that Brad and Huber wrote had a lack of difficulty as a negative. If these were in the game from the start, would you have made your reviews more positive? How much of an impact does difficulty have on a review? And when you write about difficulty, do you write about it from your own perspective, or what might be considered the target demographic?
It depends on the game. It's not a blanket statement. For me, The Last of Us is a game about surviving in a brutally harsh world. And it's about like high stakes. You know, I didn't get the maximum high stakes even on the hardest difficulty. So that was a negative for me.
Yeah, with Tsushima, I was talking a lot about the stealth and like your ninja tools and how just insanely powerful they were compared to a lot of your other tools. I felt it was too much, like way too much. So that's why I brought it up.
Mm-hmm. And I'm all about options, catering to everyone. Last of Us 2 did such a good job of catering to every type of player. So like you can turn it down on to very easy and cater to the people who just want to get through no problem. But then also you should be able to crank it up so high and so hard that it destroys people who really want the challenge, but it didn't destroy me. So
yeah, and I don't want to speak for anybody else, but I feel like when it comes to a review, if you have the mindset of like, well, like what is a target demographic going to think, I think that's a harder thing to try to nail down. And so I think you should obviously try to be as fair as possible, but when you're writing a review from your perspective, I think you kind of have to trust your own feelings on it rather than whatever a general audience is going to think.
Yeah, I feel very scared about diving into difficulty in reviews other than pointing out the fact that there are multiple options, and if those multiple options are available from the get-go, like I think it's, for me, it's personally, I'm comfortable leveraging a criticism against difficulty if it's like, oh, they hold this back until after you beat the game. And I think I do personally feel like it would have been nice to have this available from the start, or an option to toggle that. But it's usually as far as I'm typically willing to go, unless there's something very specific about the game design that it lack of difficulty or too much difficulty potentially impacts that experience. Just because I don't feel like my perspective is enough to, I don't think I can be all encompassing with that, because I don't know what everyone's expectations are, because something that's hard for me might be a joke for someone else, and they're like, what are you talking about? Versus like something I thought was very like easy, people are like, that's so ridiculously hard, like what are you talking about? And I feel like it's kind of almost a fallacy to try and, like, you're trying to put yourself in everyone else's shoes, and I don't like to do that, honestly. And I think it's I don't think it, for me, it doesn't deserve a lot of real estate in my review, unless it's like directly impacting something critical with the rest of the game.
Our next question comes in from DRD 7 of 14. Good day, Sir Allies. I was wondering, do you ever find it difficult to temper negative / positive reactions to a game based on embargo? Sometimes your own discussions over excitement / hype for what has been shown doesn't necessarily match what has or had been seen at the time of reveal. I was thinking about Avengers in particular. It always seemed like there was more inside knowledge that tempered your expectations versus what the general public had seen by that initial reveal, especially when it came to the living games angle, which they had not fully shared last year at E3 2019. I know it's hard to speak about more current stuff that could / may still be under embargo, but your tone / excitement are often affected regardless, and rightfully so. Where do you draw the line where you can't be excited for something but also cannot say why?
I can't recall that coming up in my experience. That's not something that I feel like aware of. If that's something that our community has noticed.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think I'm in this situation a little less often than you guys, but like it's never been a thing because we're an independent thing, so we can react how we react to stuff most of the time. For me personally, I'm more afraid of I don't care at all about what like publishers and stuff think. It's the comment sections I'm afraid of. The iron fist of the rabble is the one that I would temper my opinions for, or like yeah.
I find it less about like knowing something that we're not allowed to say yet, or being influenced by something doesn't necessarily, influence other thoughts that I have. But like there was a preview we did recently where I said something that Blood reminded me like that specifically is embargoed. I'm like, oh, and then I just lifted it out of the preview before we published it. And so it's usually like you can see the time where it starts and stops that conversation, and then but it's less like, oh, I really feel that was weighed down by the fact that we knew that there was more Twitch functionality with Hyperscape. It's like I don't, that's not really. That's not pulling me in one way or the other.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time, I guess, understanding where this question is coming from. I do think there's some understandable and natural hesitation, like to be too condemning on a game that's not finished yet. I think that is appropriate and can be very professional, where it's like, well, we haven't seen everything, or we don't know, or this could happen and all that stuff. And I think that level of hesitation is natural, but that's not you necessarily changing your opinion. That's just trying to take in the full scope of everything going on. And like thinking about Avengers, I just don't think, again, I'm just speaking for myself. I don't think that game has ever blown me away. Like,
no, I think,
yeah.
Sorry, I think when we saw it, like when I saw it the first time, is like when everyone else saw it.
Yeah,
I don't remember seeing anything early for like a lot. I think a lot of games, the first time we see is the first time you guys see it, especially at announcements at like a lot of these events.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely situations, like for instance, with that first Night City Wire or whatever for Cyberpunk. Like if we had been in on that preview event, then like whoever had been there probably would have bowed out of doing those reactions, because it would have been a little weird. Like, oh yeah, this is stuff I already saw, and then like, but you can't say anything until the Night City Wire is over. But I don't feel like there aren't a lot of situations where we've played something really far in advance or something along those lines and had an opinion that would vary from what you would expect anyways. There's not like that many points where it's like, oh, this thing was announced, shh, it's terrible. Like there's not that dichotomy in the back of our minds once in a while. Like even the few things that I can think of where it's like, I'm never allowed to say I played this at whatever point. It's like it's really just like an informational thing more than an opinion on the game in general.
I mean, opinions do change. Like I think about Indivisible is a really good example of this, because when I played Indivisible with Brad, I think we both walked out of it and was like, wow, that vertical slice was really amazing, and I was super excited about it. But then playing the full thing for review, it didn't quite meet my expectations that I had when I played that vertical slice, and so I didn't enjoy it as much as I was expecting it to. But that wasn't like me having insider knowledge or anything. It was just a natural change you know, because the demo wasn't quite as impressive to me as the full thing, and I think that's very natural as well. Like opinions will change, and you may be more or less excited about something based on the amount of exposure that you have to it.
Well, and like you said, Ben, like I think it's prudent and better journalism to, you know, hold off on truly damning criticisms on a preview stage, because like you said, many things can change, and it's just sensationalism if you're being like, this is pure like hateful garbage, like before you even play it.
Yeah.
And then when you play it, and then if it's garbage, you could say so.
Right.
But, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it does disappoint me the way YouTube negativity definitely sells, I guess, or gets views on YouTube in a way that can be frustrating. And like again, like you were saying, Ian, like playing it and being negative is fine, but sometimes it does feel a little skewed, for sure. All right. Our next question comes in from Alex A. Hello, allies. I'm positive you have all got this question every now and then, but I've always wanted to ask it myself. What are each your top 3 favorite video games of all time? Man, I don't know.
You're asking the wrong person.
I
don't have favorite top 3s.
My personal list is Mass Effect 2, BioShock, and Shadow of the Colossus. I would also like to give out some honorable mentions to Half-Life 2, Persona 4, Persona 5, The Wolf Among Us, Command & Conquer: Red Alert, Batman: Arkham City, and Halo 3.
So even this person doesn't have 3.
Yeah.
Well, he does have 3, but then he gave honorable mentions. But yeah.
Well, mine, Bloodborne and Symphony of the Night for sure. And then I don't often think about a third one. Myst, maybe?
There you go. There's 3.
Yeah.
The only one that will never change for me is the original Resident Evil 2. So I'm just going to say that. It's my favorite game of all time for many, many reasons. Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, it's
top one.
It's
top one.
Hard.
Number one, no question.
It's hard because, like, I feel like this answer could change depending on when you ask me. But Metal Gear Solid, certainly. Final Fantasy IX. And then, man, there's a lot of things that could be number 3. Dark Souls is definitely in there. Resident Evil Remake is in there. Those 2 are probably fighting for that spot. But yeah, it could change depending on when you ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So always competing for the top spots, I guess, but I generally settle on at least Super Mario 64 and A Link to the Past in the top 3.
Oh,
Yeah, I think I'm with Ben. I think I put Metal Gear Solid up there as well, usually, and most of the time. I think, yeah, I feel like those would probably are the 3 safest for me that I usually bring up most of the time.
Tough question.
Yeah. I have a hard enough time when people ask my favorite.
Yeah.
You went 3?
Yeah. Final Fantasy 6, GoldenEye 007, Red Dead Redemption.
Boom, baby.
Boom.
Jones coming out there,
Boom.
knows what's up.
Yeah,
it's funny because I like Red Dead 1. I love that game so much more than 2. I like 2, but 1 just has that special something.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean Red Dead Redemption. That's
Red Dead
You
Redemption.
mean Red Dead Revolver?
Not Red Dead Revolver. So I guess 2,
Yeah.
not 3, which is called 2.
I would love if Ian just randomly was like, Red Dead Revolver is my favorite game of all time.
Favorite game.
Bloodborne. Full stop.
Also Call of Juarez.
I would maybe say Red Dead 1, but then I think of Arthur Morgan. And he just pulls me to 2.
What about Nico Bellic?
Go Bellic. Go Bellic hype.
Next question comes. Oh, sorry, Blood. I was cutting you off there.
Yeah. I always I decided a while back to default to Super Metroid as the favorite. And then Ocarina of Time is in there for sure. The third, I don't know. Maybe like original F-Zero.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's true. The memes are true.
Yeah.
Well, the meme is F-Zero GX.
You
Yep.
could,
Oh,
Yep.
you could definitely
means-
convince me that Super Metroid's in my top 3.
That means Blood would give F-Zero for Super Nintendo over 100.
Yeah.
top-
break
my
the
it goes to
scale.
11.
My top 3 is legit like 30 games. That's
Sure.
why it's
Yeah.
okay.
Absolutely, man.
I'm
Like,
sorry.
Top
I'm
30.
sorry. Yeah,
for
I'm
free.
sorry. I can't play this game.
got to give a shout out to Battlefield 1942.
Last of Us, Witcher 3, Bloodborne, Dark Souls. Yeah.
Final Fantasy IV.
Come on,
Shadow
come
of the
on.
Colossus.
Super Mario Brothers 3. Come on.
Minecraft, come on.
Half-Life 2.
Minecraft's in there.
World of
Duke Nukem
Warcraft.
Forever.
Which apparently Final
Impossible
Fantasy
by
IV
30.
is based on one of Brandon's favorite movies. Now we've
Yeah.
learned. It's like,
Oh
what?
yeah, baby. Damian, you and I need to have a conversation about how Final Fantasy IV is based on the adventures of Baron Munchausen. Holy cow.
What the? I
Yeah.
want to have that conversation.
But it totally makes sense. They had all these picture lineups. I was like, yeah, there is
Yeah, someone
the
made a thread
airship.
on
You
it.
go to the moon. You go to a volcano. There's dwarf. Yeah, all that
Whoa.
stuff's in there. The Adventures of Baron Munchausen, Rowan Cleric. Yep, my favorite.
Is it
movie.
Baron Munchausen or Baron von Munchausen?
It's Baron Munchausen.
I always put a von in there for some reason growing up.
That's wrong.
Next question comes in from Miguel. Hola, allies. Is there any current method for fans to give one-time donations? I realize Patreon does not support this feature, but I was just wondering if you had alternate methods for this. Really appreciate.
Scroll down, baby.
We
Scroll
There's,
on down.
Well, they might not be watching on Twitch.
correct. Yeah.
true.
Right. On Twitch, there is donate
yeah.
button.
On YouTube, there's comments. Don't scroll. Don't.
Don't. If you're on YouTube, don't scroll down. But looks like streamlabs.com/easyallies/tip is the
works.
URL.
Absolutely works.
And
Thanks for asking.
You can pick your number for a pledge on Patreon, and you can just submit for a month. That's another one way to do it. But you got to remember.
You got to remember
Yeah,
to
gotta
undo it
remember.
after the first of the month. Yeah.
You can also, if you, for whatever reason, if you have Amazon Prime, you can do Twitch Prime. That does not auto renew, so it doesn't cost you any money if you have Amazon Prime. So
Which is
at least
now
they-
called Prime
Twitch-
Gaming.
Prime Gaming.
something like that. Yeah.
So stick Bezos for a month and then
Yeah.
ditch.
Next question comes in from Caesar Villa. Hello, allies. The year is 2050, and Elon Musk is the calm, just, sweet, and peaceful Mars ruler we all wish we had here on Earth.
God.
Okay. Unfortunately, age is catching up with him, and as he sees this, he picks up the phone and makes a call to the most creative person on the planet. Ian, as you know, I'm getting old. My time in this Earth is limited. Ian says we are not on Earth. Elon says, figurative speech, shut up and let me talk. You're the most creative person on this planet.
I would say that.
Hence, I'd like you to create some piece of art for the people of Mars. Sculpture, music, movie, you name it, just whatever you want to create. You have all my resources available to you, whatever it is, we could do it. Ian says, thanks, Elon. Talk about an ending of life crisis. So, Ian, you have all the resources of a world at your hands. What kind of art would you do with them? You don't have to spend them all. Just know you have enough to do whatever you want.
My
I have an
God.
idea when Ian's done.
Well, say
Or
your
if you
idea
want
while I
time.
think.
Okay. So set up like a sensor, right? That maybe like a long pole with like an open space or whatever, and that sensor can feels like the particles of dust hitting it in the wind, and then each particle of dust translates into a tone and a lighting scheme. So you just
This is
always
some John Cage
looking
type
at
stuff.
and listening to the wind of Mars.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
Bloodworth. That's good. I like that. That's real good. Nano laser music. Very cool idea. So we would definitely, that would be a part of it. The Bloodworth laser array, musical laser array, or the BM,
LR.
the BLM,
BMLA.
yeah, whatever.
BLM.
Also, we would have to do part of the artwork. I think would have to encapsulate the disappointment of death and confronting mortality, So I think that the artwork would be set to not go live or not exist until Elon Musk dies, so he would never get to see it. And that's part of it. So part of the artwork would be an ornate like necklace or ring or bracelet that would monitor Elon's heartbeat. And the second he died, the artwork would come to life. So there'd be the Bloodworth musical laser array. And also I'm thinking that we probably blow up something on the moon. Like a portrait of Elon Musk's like deepest enemy or something. I don't know. I need more time.
That's very Hunter S. Thompson. I like it.
Would you
Yeah.
be blowing up a portrait of Elon Musk?
He is his own worst enemy in many ways.
Ah.
Oh.
But yeah, gotta blow up the moon. Which if I've learned anything from multiple sci-fi novels and shows, would destroy the planet Earth, which is Elon's dream. Also, probably just some like real sad movies about dying.
You would make them or just show them like at a drive-through?
I'd make one and then I would commission a bunch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then we would just show like a bunch of Bergman movies. Projected onto the moon. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. We build a giant projector and play movies on the moon all the time.
That'd be sweet. Next question comes in from Brad Grenz. What is the best milkshake flavor? I usually go for strawberry.
Cookies and cream.
Chocolate.
Ooh.
Cookies and cream is a damn good answer.
Cookies and cream,
Thanks, man.
strawberry, chocolate, vanilla.
You
Depends
like
on the time of day.
Yeah, you like all of them, Heber. What do you mean?
Depends on the mood.
Yeah.
Limit yourself.
I know it sounds really boring, but vanilla milkshakes are super good.
So
fantastic.
refreshing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So refreshing. Huber, you remember the milk jar, dude?
Yeah.
Has that place weathered the storm of Corona? I wonder.
Probably like takeout and stuff.
Oh, can you order milk jar cookies? Oh crap.
Dude, I bet.
Oh damn.
Akira and milk jar cookies.
I've been losing weight, but it might come to a stop.
Yeah.
You
I think
can? Oh no.
but definitely like something like with chocolate, caramel, and peanut butter in it, something along those lines. Yeah.
My favorite
Speaking of
milkshake
my
of all
language.
time is Ben & Jerry's sweet cream and cookies. It's a flavor, weirdly enough, that you can only get inside of the Ben & Jerry's store. They do not sell sweet cream and cookies in a box, in a pint.
Huh.
Yep, 100%.
Exclusive.
Promise you. Trust me.
Wild. I feel like I've seen it before, but I
Probably like
you
mint
seem very
chocolate
passionate
chip.
about this. Yeah,
It's deep passion.
yeah.
Deep passion.
Something that I really...
Haagen-Dazs cookies and cream like just left the planet Earth, and like I took a picture.
ours.
I took a picture. I found it at Ralph's the other day, and I took a picture, sent it to Amanda, and I was like, "The Holy Grail!" And she was like, "Oh my god!" Like, it just couldn't find it forever. I'm sorry, Ben. Continue.
Ben & Jerry's does... The way that they do their like chocolate chip chunks is excellent. Just shout out to the way
Chip
Ben & Jerry's
chunks.
does chocolate chip chunks. It's good. It's good. All right. Are we ready for our last question?
Yeah.
Oh.
Last question comes in from Corey Jackson. If you could make a Suicide Squad of video game characters, who would you pick and what would they be fighting with?
Ooh.
I mean,
Oh,
I
so it
think
could be anybody.
PlayStation characters.
I think Kiryu and Majima are top picks.
Oh, that's a great one, dude. Damn, that is a good pick.
That's a good question.
Right.
want-
Geralt is the leader.
Oh,
It's got to be the leader. Leading the charge.
In a Suicide Squad?
Would he be a team player, Geralt?
Oh, yeah.
I think he'd be a better like rogue agent, wouldn't he?
Yeah, but isn't that the point that they can't?
They're all
works-
rogue agents,
He works
yeah.
for people.
He works with people all the time.
That's true. That's true.
I want Banjo. I want Crash. I want Sonic. I want.
Yeah, we need
Ratchet.
anthropomorphic action
Yes,
going
I
on.
want
Yeah.
Ratchet. Like I want this crossover here.
We need like Baraka or something. Like we need.
But
Oh,
like,
man.
Goofy, I want the
Baraka
characters
Ah,
is
together.
such
What
a
a
good
pull.
pull. Yeah.
I'm thinking we need more villainous characters. Like we need Baraka and then like Gruntilda or something.
Well-
like it's,
Yeah.
I think you're going to do, like, Kefka would be
Yeah.
really interesting, right?
yeah.
All the
Revolver
Final
Ocelot.
Fantasy villains.
I like the idea of changing
Yeah.
styles. So like they got to pick like a Disney Infinity. They got to pick one style. So like all these weird characters have got to conform to like either Kazuma's looking weird or like, you know. Somebody Gruntilda's looking realistic, or everyone's looking cartoonish, or something. It's a good team. More than one person mentioned Liquid Ocelot in chat. It's not bad call.
Do the Nintendo one, Huber.
Yeah, like if you had a Witcher,
Bowser.
like I would go with like Letho,
Dude.
right?
Let's be sick.
Yeah.
I want Yorvith, man. Brad and I want Yorvith.
Just wanted
You
to
gotta
be
get-
one of the games, man.
Yeah.
That too.
God.
You got to get something just weird and horrific in there, like Daughter of Abritas or Moon Presence or something from Bloodborne, just like some otherworldly
Oh, dude, shit.
Amygdala.
Just chilling.
Wesker, man.
Yeah, I was just Brad. I was just
Wesker,
gonna
yeah.
say Wesker.
What are we doing?
I was
Wesker's in
waiting
there.
to say Wesker.
He will turn on.
Well, what if they're fighting Wesker? Who are they fighting? You know.
Yeah, they're fighting him, taking him down.
Who are they? They got to fight good guys, right? Like
Pyramid Head, good call.
They
Dr.
fight
And
the
all,
Wily.
worst guys.
and all Nintendo ones are really.
They're
fun.
fighting Dracula.
Oh,
I would love like
Legendary.
a video game villain squad that had to like kill Mario. That would be really funny.
But every time they get a hit in, he just gets small and then finds another mushroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you to everybody who wrote in for the August 2020 Q&A. Again, if you would like to find out more about this $20 tier and you'd like to submit a question, we'll be back doing this at the end of next month. Can't believe it's September already. Yeah. And thank you to all the allies who joined me for this Q&A. We'll see you again next month. Patreon.com/easyallies.